Well, ladies and gentlemen, viewers of my channel, good morning. I got my world back, so I thought it was a good time to do another factory tour of sorts. So this is where I'm standing on is actually going to be in the next episode of the Crate Thing, which I am still currently working on, as you can see. But I thought I would do an updated factory tour of this whole district in between now and the next episode. As you can see in this little first section, which is down here at water level, I am actually still working on this area, so it looks a bit rough. There's a shulker mess behind me, a little wheat farm right there, but essentially all of these over here are going to be different shops, where I will have all materials stored. I'm still currently working on the auto sorting system because it's going to go, you dump everything in here and it's going to auto sort throughout all of this. So I have, the andesite shop with all of it labeled all nicely. Copper over there, then brass, andesite, and the train stuff. And then we have this one, which I'm also still working on, Farmer Beal's Wheat Shoppy. Like Farmer Bill's, but Beal. It's a funny joke, don't worry. And then down here is where the output for the wheat goes. So I have it all set right here. And when we look over here, we can see that I actually do have a bee that is driving this thing. It just goes back and forth. When my next All Le Mans 9 video comes out, I do actually repeat this in that episode, so you'll see this again. Anyways, when we go up this little ramp here, these ramps are actually added by the Automobility mod, and they're kind of glitchy when you look over them, but they're added by the Automobility mod, which is just drivable cars. But when we get up to this parking lot here, it's a parking lot. But next we get to what I actually did in last episode, the power plant. So when we go inside, you can see that the power plant is still fully functional. My frames do drop by quite a bit because there's just a lot going on. There's the tree harvesters. They get deposited into here to get out the logs and sticks. There's also that one over there that goes along here into this item vault, where the item vault is set to one item specifically. So it goes into here where these things feed these blaze burners. I almost want to add the mod that makes it to where I can use lava on the blaze burners, but this is what we got now. It's a bit of a mess in here, but it works. And then when we come down here, over here, speedometer, I don't have my engineer's goggles on, hold on. That it actually generates about 1.3 million. Sometimes it's a little unstable, because some of the items back up. Like if I open my mini-map, yeah, some of the items back up on one of the corners. It's really annoying, and I'll probably fix it next time. And I also have it all connected up from this gearbox, basically going into that gearbox and then going all across the entire district. So this one thing powers my entire district. It's quite something. So when we actually get along this way into the actual factory district itself, we got Bingus and Bingus. This is from the Ad Astra mod, which is actually pretty nice. One of my buddies did that to add Bingus. And then over here, we actually have one of the first dedicated buildings in the factory district, the Beehive. But there's that bee farm. I also have all this limestone that I used to build that right there that I need to get rid of. But now we move along to here on one of the roads to the factory district. So along here, this first one is actually a skeleton spawner. So up there, there's an AFK spot right there, and then above it is a standard skeleton farm with a little sign to block the lava. The skeletons get spawn up there. You can hear them now. Yep, here we go. They fall down here, and I don't care about the EXP right now, so the drops all go into the chute right there, which goes in the item vault, and then it gets organized out. I have it to where the arrows get voided, but the bones go in here, and this is another overflow, and then all backpacks go in here. And then over in this little building, this is actually just a simple limestone generator. It's turned off right now because it's turned off right now because it just constantly produces the limestone and fills up and backs up. But it's the easy, limestone generates from when honey flows into lava or lava flows into honey, whichever one it is, and it generates limestone. We have a little drill back there, and the limestone goes into this chest for easy access. But over here is the dripstone factory. So this is actually added as part of create ultimate factory mod, you can actually make dripstone. You just take some bones, which I have another skeleton spawner up top there, some bones that get ground down into bone meal. Then I have a cobblestone generator in here that makes the cobblestone, gets crushed into gravel, and then they get pressed into calcite. See a calcite right there. And then it gets mixed with some water into the dripstone. Dripstone goes into here, hoppers into these chests for overflow. Yeah, and I have it all hooked up to this factory switch, so if I flick this, the whole thing turns on. That was actually one of the big reasons why I made that power plant over there, was so I can just do this and not have it reliant on just a bunch of water wheels. Because it used to be that this entire factory district had about 100 water wheels. Under here it was just like 8 water wheels in a row right here and 8 water wheels in a row right there. But for this, we have it to where when you grind up bones to get bone meal, it also makes white dye. So this lava is here for the white dye to get dumped into. You can also see that I have a redstone link to turn the factory off and on, because this clutch actually powers everything. And then this is just to get the water in here up to where the dripstone is mixed. So you see I have it all set up underneath here. Oh yes, up on top of this factory, I have these little stairs here, because when you go to top, you can see the skeleton spawners in here. And then up top, I have a map to the area, as well as my waystone, part of the waystones mod. There's also the only enchanted golden apple that I have found so far, and some extra maps. I'm going to, down there, I'm actually going to make a map room here soon-ish, to where I can store this map, and then I can start expanding the maps outwards as the factory district grows. Because my plan is, you see the whole factory district now, the plan is to go pretty much up and all around with a bunch of buildings, and then expand something to over here, and expand something to over here. So my plan is to make this a huge, huge city over time. I'm sure you can tell what it is just by looking at it. There's Jeb. This is actually a automated wool farm. This is just the vanilla method. It has the observers. It has the shears in there, which the shears I have all actually broke from this. I have one spare shear. When we actually go down here, this is where it all gets sorted into. As you can see, they're all full. I just use a simple minecart hopper method. The minecart on a hopper is sitting there, which funnels into this hopper, which funnels into this chest. So I have every color of wool. I will never need any wool again. It's great. But now, let's get to over here. One of the things on the side of the factory district is my train station. You can see one of my trains is already here. I have a bee driving it. So we have this train station here. This rail goes, see, there it goes. Bye train, and it goes through the blocks. I need to fix that. But that rail right, so that rail there goes to Pirate Cove, and that one goes to Spawn. The train currently isn't here, but that one does a loop around the entire server. So now, let's get to this main road. So on this side is a currently inactive dripstone factory. It used to be just the vanilla method, and then I had it to where there's a belt here that went down. I'm going to change this entire thing into a new iron factory soon. So this is right now off. It's going to be an iron factory soon. Might work on that. Not next episode, but the episode after. Because the next episode is just going to be all about expanding this here. And working on buildings here. This next one is actually 2 factories in one. So up top there is an auto kelp farm. It's kind of a bit wonky right now to where the kelp goes in here. But in here is actually a my Blackstone rail auto factory. So over there, right now not working, is gold nuggets would normally come down here and be split into these 2 tracks to where they would get pushed onto these deployers, and it would auto craft the Blackstone rails. The Blackstone rails would then be stored down here in this item vault, and I have a counter for it and a barrel that will just bring all them out. So, but for the Blackstone rails, that's what I've been using for the train stuff to go, you know, these rails. That's what I've been using, is the Blackstone rails. So that's that. This over here is my little like workstation thing, and where I store all of my dripstone. Okay, I almost thought I was out for a second. I'm gonna have to run my dripstone factory a little more, but yeah, this is where I store my dripstone. All in here, and I also have a count of the buildings, and right here is just all of the buildings that I'm going to make, and everyone's comments on here. So I actually have quite a bit, all of them checked off. So all of the buildings that people requested or just left a comment, like these two people just left a comment, and then the rest, this person asked for this specific thing. So these are going to be worked on over time. I will get to them. It's just that I didn't have this world for about a month because there were some issues with porting it to a thumb drive for the last month, but the person who ran the server finally got it to work, and it's all good. So I have this world. Yay. Let's see Auto Rail Factory. Now this over here, this is one of my proudest creations. This is the Gold Factory. It used to be steam powered. There used to be a steam boiler here, but I switched it over to use my power plant. But basically what happens is we have up there are some drills that crush the cobblestone down into gravel and then gravel down into sand, and it gets washed. So whatever doesn't get washed goes into there, and then clay goes through here into there. Then the clay goes down to, it's been a while since I was here, bear with me. The clay gets shot down to here where it gets packed into a clay block. The clay block then gets smelted. In here you can see it's just sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. And boom, now it goes up to become terracotta. Terracotta goes up there to where it gets grinded down to red sand, and then the red sand gets washed. It doesn't show, you can't see the water back here because I have sodium and indium, and it does something with the rendering of the water. But there's water there washing them, and it washes into either dead bushes, which get voided back here, or gold nuggets, which get put back here. You can actually see a gold nugget just started going. Yeah, right there. Right here, I'm going to make an andesite alloy factory in this little space. But when the gold nuggets are created, they go down the belt up here to this barrel. This used to be a thing for sort of splitting it up, so only a certain amount would be allowed to go out from here. But it used to go into here, and then there used to be a funnel there, and a funnel there, to where it would split it by 3. So 2 would go there, and then 1 would go there. This one actually goes under here. Let me go up. It's a bit of a mess, but it makes sense to me. When the gold is actually made, it goes down into here. This will only spit out 9 gold nuggets at a time. So you see there's 4 in there. Once it spits out 9, it goes into here, where it gets pressed into a gold bar. And we have tons of gold bars right here. This is the master switch. So if I flick this, whole thing turns off. Flick that, whole thing turns on. And we go out here. So that's this side all completed and shown. Gold Factory is still one of my most proud accomplishments that I have actually made on this server. It is just insane. This is all regular create though. Speaking of regular create, we also have this factory over here. This is the Blaze Cake Factory. So, to explain this simply, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on. Flick! Again, I have the master switches for this, but I have a sugarcane farm right here. Why is that off? I don't know. But the sugarcane goes down into an item vault underneath. There's my other portal. But when we look down here, the sugarcane goes down into this item vault, and then it goes down through here to where it goes into a bunch of mechanical crafters, and the mechanical crafters actually spit it out onto these chests, which spits it out onto here, and then it just goes up to these tubes. So for these tubes, we also have it to where there's an item vault for Cinderflower here. I have a grindstone on the outside. So Cinderflower goes through here and up there, and then the eggs, I'm sure you can sometimes hear the chickens, but the eggs go this way up to that tube. Now let's go back up to show you more. So when we go back inside this, I have these chickens that just grow eggs. And once everything gets up into here, how I have it set is they get out on here and they go into these chests. Chests are currently full, but the chests only export 16 items at a time because that's how much is max for this. But I have it set to where they go in on these 3 different sides to sort of get them to go in all even. Because if it was just one of these funnels, it would get uneven as heck. If we put on the goggles, we can see that it's got uneven at one point, but you can see 16 goes in at a time. So the cake molds get made, they get moved over here to where you have a spout to put them on here. And underneath the spout there, it goes into a barrel and then goes on a belt into another... I really need to fix this mess here. But they essentially go up to a encased fan with a smart chute above it. And then there is... once I can get under here and over here. But yeah, once they go up through the encased fan, they get sent to this item vault. And this item vault actually... it's off right... Why is this off? Hold on. Well, I found a flaw. Normally they go from here into this chest. As you see, the chest is full. But, why is this off? Now I'm kind of confused. But anyways, so it'll just keep making the blaze cakes and spouting it onto here using this. Using this store. So it's technically not infinite because it has these stores going. When the lava runs out, it stops making the cakes, but it'll actually back up and not make the cake base anymore. But yeah, I have it all hooked up to this one switch. So we hit the switch and we're good. Now as for this... So the lava factory generation does require blaze cakes. So I have it set to where there's actually a lever inside that lava factory where it actually pulls blaze cakes from here up to there. But this is also netherrack, a netherrack factory that is also alongside the lava factory. But we'll get to that in just a moment because this has been showcased. So now let's get to the first video actually on this channel, the EXP factory. This is going to get overhauled eventually because it's a bit inefficient. But essentially how it works is we have the stone that is created and smelts into, or cobblestone is created, smelts into stone, then it is haunted over here, it gets sent up there to where the silverfish are created, the silverfish go down here to where they get punched by these deployers, and it collects all the EXP into here. And when you actually go in here, you can just hit this lever, and you get EXP. It's nice. So, but it's all stored in here, and we actually do have, this is actually covered last episode, about a month and a half ago. This is a hyper enchanting setup. With the Create Enchantment Industry mod, you put lapis and glow squid in here, it gets mixed, including some EXP, and then it gets all sent into here, and I have it to where it funnels into these. These are basically... yeah, some of them are full, some of them are not, like this one's full, but the rest are not for a lot of the enchantments that I need right now. So that's the hyper enchanting setup all hidden down here. Yeah, when we look at the machinery down here, it's very jank and I need to redo it. But that's a project for another time. But you can actually also walk up there and see everything go. But this whole thing, a lot of this is powered by this. This was when I first started playing Create. I really didn't know how the water wheels worked that much. So it is very inefficient. It is currently not hooked up to my power plant. So I need to work on that to redo it. But let's move on to this next section. Into this factory, which actually has like 4 in 1. So we have the switches for all of these things. So we have a lava generator. We have a netherrack generator. And this one pulls the blaze cakes. So basically it will pull the blaze cakes from the blaze cake factory up to there to where they go up top here. It's a bit jank, but this is for the lava factory, so they go to that chest and get distributed using these onto each of these. And we have, there is a cobblestone generator on the very bottom underneath the whole factory, but it funnels the cobblestone up into here and into here. These things get powered by blaze cakes to become superheated, and it makes lava to put in all of the tubes. When we actually go over here, this is a sturdy sheet generator. So it spouts the lava and then presses it twice to where sturdy sheets go here. I have quite a lot. This is actually really fast and is hooked up to this lava tank. But this lava tank is hooked up to, I believe, this. So over here is my brass block factory. As you can see, I have a lot. There's the switch that powers it all. But to explain this shortly, basically what it does is this is through the same person who made the Create Ultimate Factory mod, which allows me to make the netherrack, which I will cover next. Also made a mod, copper and zinc renewables. So what it does is it starts with cobblestone, makes it into clay, mixes it with lava to make the block that gets crushed into copper. So that one's Viridium, and this one's Azurine. So this one, the clay is mixed with water to make Azurine. The Azurine makes zinc, whereas the Viridium makes copper. And they get moved into here to where they get mixed into brass. For this one, I actually have it to where it's an auto kelp generator. So basically, this thing will always be powering this blaze burner to mix. Then when enough brass ingots get put into here, they get pressed into a block, which goes in here. It's actually pretty efficient. There's the kelp farm too for the kelp block generation. I have over here, there's some fans with fire to smelt the kelp into the dried kelp, and then it goes in there and gets pressed, yada yada. But yeah, so up here is actually where the netherrack is generated. So for blaze cakes, you need cinder flour, and cinder flour is made from crushing netherrack. So I have it up here. I have the vanilla way to generate basalt, because basalt can be haunted into netherrack. So I have it to where it breaks the basalt using the vanilla method. So there's blue ice up top and lava. Then it gets put into these chests, gets moved down to here where these things put it on these things here, the depots. I haven't played Create in so long, the names are a bit weird, but it basically waits until it gets haunted in netherrack, and the netherrack gets sent along that way into the cinder flour, where it gets crushed into cinder flour, the blaze cake factory. So that one's like 5 factories in one. Next, we move on to the final building right now of the factory until I add more. This is the diamond and netherite factory. So this is actually a pretty important one. We have the whole of the diamond one. Let me just go ahead and turn it on. So for this diamond one, what happens is it goes from wood to diamonds. So it starts off with making trees. I have it set dark oak because dark oak is very plentiful, but it goes into here where the logs get smelted into charcoal. You see that? And then under here, it gets haunted from charcoal to coal. Then it gets pressed, and then it gets pressed again to where it gets pressed with lava to make the diamonds. This one actually takes a little bit to make the diamonds, but I have it to where it goes into here, and I have made all of these diamonds so far with just this factory. It's kind of slow, but it still works at a good rate. This and the netherite were both added by the Create Ultimate Factory mod. Why is my dog barking? If you hear my dog barking, I do apologize. He is a barky boy. But anyways, so we have it to where any excess saplings get dumped into lava here, and that's how the diamond factory works. So over here is the netherite scrap factory. So this is also as part of Create Ultimate Industry, but it makes basalt over here through the vanilla method again. I really hope my dog barking doesn't carry over on the mic, but it probably does. But the basalt gets haunted into netherrack. And it gets burned into nether bricks, gets smashed, and then it has a lower than 1% chance when crushing the actual nether bricks themselves, the 4 ones, to make netherite scrap. The excess bricks get voided, whereas the scrap goes into this chest. So I have this in the gold factory, usually running whenever I'm online, because I want to make, one of the requests for the YouTube comment thing was a netherite beacon. So I'm getting there. It's going. I'll have the netherite beacon eventually. I just need to find a place to put it. But yeah, so that's the entirety of this factory district, what I got so far, what I've been working on. This has been a project that's been taking me months to do, and I'm so happy with the results. But yeah, it's just going to get bigger, it's just going to get larger. I'm going to keep working on it as I also work on all the mods 9. And yeah, so that's a tour of the factory district. If you would like a tour of the rest of the world, as well as the factory district, let me know. Because again, there's also the stuff that my friends have built on the server, like we have this giant tower, we have home base, we have Pirate Cove over here somewhere, because the map takes forever to load. Over here somewhere. And there's also a giant pyramid. So if you want a tour of the entire world, let me know. Anyways, that was a tour of my factory district. Bedrock Burger, out.